all of us are a human being or a man or a woman first. But we are too deeply identified with our roles. And in the process, we forget to understand and nurture that woman or a man or that human being. Namaste. My name is Bidhan. 2012 is when I chanced upon Upanishads, and it had a profound impact on my life. Since then, I have dreamt to bring the key aspects of Upanishads in a manner which is simple, relatable, and implementable in our daily lives. So here we are with a set of videos to make spirituality simple. Welcome back, Preeti.
Hi, Bidhan. Thank you so much for having me again, even though I bombard you with all these questions.
My pleasure. How are you feeling after the last session where we spoke about our inherent nature?
What has stuck with me from the beginning is that I am a changeless, limitless witness to the ever-changing body, mind, and world around me. When we speak, even when I hear you, I understand what you mean, that we are limitless, we are changeless. I get that, right? But then why is it that I feel limited? Why do I feel sort of separate? Why is that feeling of insecurity, that feeling of fear? Why does all that creep in?
Because we are too deeply identified with I-ness.
Excuse me? I-ness? Did I get that right? Did you say highness or I-ness?
We are too deeply identified.
Okay, identified. Can you sort of simplify that? Like I get what identification, I know what the word means, but I would really like it if you can simplify what you meant by when you said I-ness.
Okay, we'll not get too deep into I-ness for now, but we will talk about a little bit about identification.
Okay.
Right? And let's make it a more interactive session where I'll ask you a few questions and we'll reflect. I will request all of you who is watching this video to also reflect. Well, I am basically talking to Preeti. Maybe you will find something interesting in the process. Okay, Preeti, let's start. Tell me something about yourself.
I am, what do you say? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a teacher, a trainer, a mother.
Okay. So you just mentioned that you're a mother. Right? Were you a mother before your son was born?
Oh, no. No.
So the mother was born as soon as the son was born.
Yes.
Right? Now, who were you before you were a mother?
I was a wife, I guess.
You guess?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were a wife before you were a mother.
Yes.
Who were you before you got this tag of a wife?
Oh my God. Okay. I was a woman, I guess. I mean, yeah, I was a woman.
But you never said that you were a woman. You said that I am an entrepreneur,
I mean, that's obvious. So I don't have to say it. It's obvious that I'm a woman.
No, it's not obvious.
Yes, it is.
It is obvious to me, but it's not obvious to you. Okay. Let me ask you this. When you are doing a role of a mother, of a daughter, of a wife, how many times do you remember that you are a woman whose need is separate from a mother, a daughter, or a wife?
Yeah. Sometimes I do remember, but I think often times I forget.
You forget, right?
Yeah.
So you are a woman first or a mother first?
I was see, I'm even saying was. I am a woman.
You are a woman first.
Yeah.
And then you are a wife, and then you are a daughter, isn't it? But why is it so difficult for us to remember that we are a woman first, or you are a woman first, simply because you are too deeply identified with your role of a mother, of a daughter, of a wife?
Right.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas the woman in you has her own needs, has her own requirements. Do you know of ladies, and I know of a lot of women who have dedicated their entire life for their husband and for their children.
Yes.
And if their husband pass away and the kids have their own independent life, suddenly they feel very hollow. Suddenly they feel there is nothing left in their life. They feel depressed.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably they feel hurt.
They feel very hurt because the only identity which was created was of a wife and of a mother. And when that identity is taken away, there is nothing left.
A feeling of feeling lost, maybe?
Feeling of void
Yeah.
that comes in. Because somewhere we have not nurtured the woman.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not just for women, I suppose, right? I'm sure that men feel that way as well. Let's take maybe if they retire, then there's that feeling of, not having no sense of purpose, or something happens for men also. So I don't think it's just for women.
No, it's not gender specific.
Yeah.
For anyone. So for someone who has been at a very powerful position and suddenly gets retired, so their identification was always with the position, and suddenly when the position is lost, you feel so lost.
Right.
You just feel that you're not wanted, and that leads to significant depression. So the point I'm trying to make here, Preeti, is it's not about the roles we play. The point I'm trying to say is that all of us are a human being or a man or a woman first. Right? But we are too deeply identified with our roles. And in the process, we forget to understand and nurture that woman or a man or that human being. Does it make sense?
I get what you're saying in terms of identification.
Right.
But we can't get rid of these roles, right? Like these roles are a part of us.
No, we should not never be. Why should we get rid of our roles? Because we have got into it and it is our dharma, our duty to do it. The point I'm just trying to make here is how often during the day or how often do we think that my essential self is not a role, but I am a man first or I am a woman first, and I need to be understood. I need to be taken care of.
Right.
It's very paradoxical, Preeti. So let me ask you this question. If you don't take care of the woman in you, how long will you be able to do your duty as a mother, as a wife, or as a daughter?
Yes, I completely understand this part of it, where you need to take care of the woman in you. You need to take care of you, not the woman in you, you. And then only you will be able to, fulfill your other roles to the fullest of your ability.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's not about trying to not take care of your roles or trying to disidentify. You asked me a question that why don't I feel my inner divinity all the time?
Yeah.
The answer is because we are too identified. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm not trying to say that disidentify. Even if I suggest, or if someone suggests us that disidentify from your emotions, from your beliefs, from your identity, do you think it will happen?
I mean, it's in theory it's possible, but practically I don't think so.
It's not. Just because I wish to, it doesn't work that way. The only thing that one can do is, the very awareness is so identified with our body, with our thoughts, with our emotions, with our roles, with our aspirations, that we forget our intrinsic nature. And this is very natural, because if you see, everything is outward driven, isn't it? So the question that we need to ask ourselves is that how much time during the day we spend to reconnect with our inherent essence, which is, say, divinity, consciousness, anything that you talk about.
When you're saying that, I think the first thought that popped into my head was, if I disidentify, if I sort of break this identification, which is easier said than done, I know it's a theory, but if I'm able to do it, then does that sort of take me closer to my true nature?
So this is where the complexity of words come in. I'm not suggesting that we have to break our identification. First of all, even if we choose to, if we decide to, we will not be able to break our identification. And I'm telling you from my own personal experience, right? We are identified. There are a lot of things which goes behind the wall for us to be who we are right now. The only point I'm trying to make here is that can we, for certain period of time during the day, identify with our essential self, which is divine.
Okay.
And by doing so, you will see that you will somewhere there'll be an intuitive understanding in terms of what is important to you and what is not.
So you're saying don't force this, don't force and break this identification.
Yes.
But if you do get closer to your true essence, you're saying that intuitively I will start breaking this identification.
Absolutely.
Okay, so like I'll start forming like a sense of, can I say detachment?
Detachment is another word which is highly misinterpreted. We will take it some other time.
Okay.
But in essence, what you're saying is right. That instead of breaking, trying to say I want to disidentify, forget that. Let us do something to come inward, to go inward, to identify with my essence.
Okay, so is it right if I'm saying that spirituality is these actions, any of these actions that I do, that sort of bring me closer to my true essence, or take me inward and closer to that inherent nature that we're talking about?
Absolutely. That's what spirituality is all about. Spirituality is all about coming closer to my inherent nature, which is divine.
Wow. And like, is there any reference of this at the Upanishads?
Of course. Spirituality, look, spirituality is a very Western word, right? The word spirit comes from West. In our scriptures, the word what is used is adhyatmika. The root word is adhyatma or atma. There's a word atma in that. So any action that helps you come closer to your essential self, which is Atman, that becomes a part of adhyatma, and that can be loosely translated as spirituality. So to answer your question, yes, this has been very clearly stated in our scriptures. If you move towards the part of adhyatma, which is trying to know your inner essence, that you can call it as spirituality.
Wow. So then I would like to dissect that a little further, I think.
Right.
And so in theory, I understand that these are the actions, but what about in my day-to-day life? Like
Right.
Practically,
Right.
What are the actions that qualify for, I don't know, you said adhyatmika. So what are the actions that qualify for, can I just use the Western
Please
word?
go ahead.
What are the actions that qualify towards this thing of spirituality?
Okay, this is a very interesting point, and let us look at this. That what we have said, what is spirituality, or what is adhyatma? The actions that help me break my identification.
Yes.
Naturally, the actions that me help come closer to my inner essence, and the action that helps me see divinity within myself and everything around.
Okay.
Right? So these are the three parameters now we have looked at. Now let us look at which are the actions which help me in these three. I ask you this question. Tell me which are the actions you think will qualify any of these three things.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you a hint. You have spoken at length about this in the session 3 in our
pause.
Pause.
Okay, we spoke about pause then. Okay. So you're saying taking a pause is one of the actions?
So let's break it further. How does pause becomes a spiritual action?
You're asking me. Wow. Okay.
Okay. So tell me, what is it that you do in a pause? What happens in a pause?
In times of intense emotion, like an anger or anything, I basically take a pause, like, and sort of start witnessing or start seeing the emotion that I'm feeling, and then sort of deciding how I should react to it. So that's that second of pause that happens there.
Perfect. So what is happening when you are experiencing anger? So anger is an emotion.
Yes.
That comes. Along with anger, there are multiple thoughts which is surrounding that specific emotion, isn't it? And you are not immediately getting attached or identified with those thoughts and with these emotions. You give it a time, you create a distance, and then you choose what you want to do.
Exactly.
Now what will happen is that if you do this more often, there'll be an intuitive understanding that will come inside you that the emotions comes and goes, the thoughts comes and goes, but there is a witness which is changeless, which is able to see the movement, which is able to see the coming and going of these thoughts and these emotions. And then the disidentification with these thoughts and those emotions automatically happens.
Right.
So it qualifies as adhyatmika, it qualifies as spirituality, because by creating a pause, by seeing your emotions and your thoughts from a distance.
That distance is the important
This
part.
is the distant part.
Yes, yes.
So that becomes a spiritual action in itself.
Right. So even things probably like self-reflection,
Yeah.
self-awareness, sort of going into or recognizing any kind of patterns and any kind of mental patterns and being able to break those patterns, mindfulness. Are these all also actions that come under Adhyatmika?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
When you are mindful, you are simply aware. When you are breaking the patterns, you are choosing not to get identified with all that baggage which is already there in your head.
Right.
You are choosing to kind of break some of this. So you are now creating a distance from your emotions, from your patterns, from your behaviors. And that is what? That is disidentification.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Never
this
thought of it like that before.
That's spiritual. That is helping you come closer to your essential nature.
Right. Okay.
So in fact, reading scriptures or reading Upanishads, all of them can be qualified as a spiritual activity, because by doing so, it is helping you rediscover your essential self, your essential nature.
Right.
It is telling you more about who you truly are.
Even just taking the time to watch this video, does that also count?
Of course, it does.
It does. Oh, okay.
So if you're watching this video and also reflecting in terms of what has been said and does it make sense, so you are again trying to rediscover your essential self, and that's also a spiritual activity.
Wow. Okay.
Meditation is a spiritual activity because you kind of disidentify from your body and mind for some time and you are in pure awareness.
Okay.
Right. So these are some of the set of actions that qualifies with breaking your patterns, going for, say, Adhyatma, going for scriptures, all of them mindful activities. Yeah. Now let's come to this basically is about breaking your patterns and coming closer to your essential self.
Right.
Now let's come to another aspect. We have also seen that rishis have told us that there is oneness in everything.
Yeah.
Right? And you also mentioned that it's not like your Atma and my Atma. Everything is one. It just appears separate. Now, which are the activities that helps me feel oneness with everything around us? Even those activities can be qualified as Adhyatma or spiritual activity.
Okay.
Can you name some of them?
When you say connected, so even something like being in nature.
Yes.
Teaching, where I'm connecting with other people, sort of taking care of plants, taking care of animals. What about like maybe offering some sort of selfless service to others? Is that all of this is what you mean?
Of course, yes, because in all these activities that you mentioned, you are seeing beyond your own self.
Yes, absolutely.
You are connecting with a larger set of things. You are somewhere expanding yourself. And any activity that helps you expand beyond your body and mind is spiritual, is Adhyatma, because everything is one.
Yeah, okay.
Any activity that helps you break your patterns or disidentify, any activity that helps you come closer to your essential self, which is Atman, which is divine, and any activity that helps you see divinity in things around you.
Yeah.
Any of these activities can be called a spiritual activity, and we can list down all this. In fact, I would like viewers to basically, in the message, please write down the activities which you think is spiritual. It will be nice to hear from you, and most of us can get benefit from whatever you are suggesting.
Right. So I think as you are talking to the audience, a new question has popped up in my head.
Please go ahead. I'm so used to it.
Where does where does religion, where do all the rituals that come with religion, where does that come into the picture?
Don't you think this is too sensitive a topic?
I know it is a sensitive topic, but I also know that I am the voice of your audience, and I know that a lot of people have asked this in the past. So I'm definitely bringing it up.
We will do it in our next session.
Yeah. Okay, it's a big topic that
we will cover. It's a big topic and it'll take time.
All right, so definitely we will come up with that in the next session.
All those who are listening, to the audience, thank you so much for all your wonderful comments and liking this video. It certainly encourages all of us. And most importantly, we have decided to have a specific episode to just answer your questions. So any question that comes into your mind, please post it, please write to us, and we will make sure that we take up those questions in the forthcoming video. And do not forget to mention the actions that you consider as spiritual.
If you like this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to our channel, and of course share it with your friends and family so that they can benefit as well. Thank you so much.